Hi guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and as you can see, I'm in the Christmas mood. I bought myself a poinsettia today. I got all this sparkly stuff right here that people are gonna think is for Christmas, but this is actually for my wedding bouquets in August, so that's gonna be fun to do that. I can't wait to start making stuff for my wedding and actually putting things together. But for right now, it's still in the planning stages, and I'm excited about it. But moving along, I am now gonna do my review for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend season 2, episode 5. Now this episode, I don't know what it was about this week. Episodes were just really boring for me this week. I literally had to tell myself to sit down and watch Vampire Diaries because it was getting so boring. And if you want to know my personal feelings on this season of Vampire Diaries, I actually just made a video, and it's a very long rant video about why I hate this season personally, but I'm not gonna get into it in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend territory because you're here for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Ex-Girlfriend, not Vampire Diaries. So, moving along, this episode, I feel, was more of a filler episode than anything. And I actually got really sad after watching this episode because I was looking up things for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend because I thought, why not? Because I was actually confirming that an actress is actually a new character. I'm like, hey, I know that actress. So I was kind of looking up stuff, and then I found out really sad news that Santiago is no longer in the cast of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Like, he left to go do something else, and I'm just over here like, I'm so sad now because I loved Greg as a character, and now he's gone, and I have Josh, and I don't like Josh, but you know, that's fine, that's cool, whatever. I personally like Rebecca alone at the moment. I think she's becoming a better woman because she's alone, and I like that. I love how she's now sticking up for herself. I love how she's now reaching out to people that hate her a little bit. Like, this whole episode was about mending bridges, as I would like to say. Because Rebecca is upset that she hurt Valencia. I don't think she was really upset, but you know, it sounded like it from the promos. But when I watched the episode, it just really seemed like she was wanting to talk to someone about Josh. And of course, her and Paula's friendship has been a little bit separated since Paula joined law school and had her abortion, which I think is going to be a very powerful discussion topic in the next episode because it seems like Paula is a little bit hostile. I think she's finally going to tell Rebecca about her abortion. Like, Paula tells this random guy in class about her abortion, but she can't tell her own best friend, and there lies a problem. It's also a relationship conflict that is not about Josh and Greg that I'm personally excited to go see happening. Like I said, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend this season is really, really good. And when my show is really, really bad, something that is really, really good to replace it is a positive thing in my life. And I'm thankful for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend because, you know, it's Thanksgiving, so I had to be thankful. I thought, you know, why not be thankful for a lot of things in my life? I'm grateful that I have a family that loves me. I'm grateful that I have good friends. I'm grateful that I'm getting married and I have a loving fiance. And I'm grateful for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend because without it, I would have so much rage about Vampire Diaries that I couldn't stand it. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is my comedic relief. And I just love the living shit out of it right now. But this episode wasn't really funny per se, as it was more of a building bridges and crossing over them type episode. Like, she takes Valencia to this music festival that is honestly a ripoff of Coachella, I believe. I believe I'm not getting into it. They had some comedic relief with Daryl and White Josh, and it was pretty much a very interesting dynamic because their relationship has been all cutesy and stuff, and usually I don't like cutesy relationships. I like my relationships with a little more depth to them, and this episode had a lot more depth to Josh's and Daryl's relationship, and they actually had conflict in this episode because Josh is a serial older guy dater. Older guys are his type, and I get that. Sometimes whenever you're dating people your own age, you don't get a lot from. It's like some people don't get a lot from dating people their own age. Personally, I never really liked dating people my own age. Because they still have a lot of maturing to do. They weren't bad relationships per se. I've been in maybe 2 bad relationships in my whole life. But I am actually doing better in a relationship where my fiance is 5 years older than I am. So I get the appeal of having an older guy in the relationship to teach you things that you never would have thought of. Because they're so much wiser because they're older and they've been through all of this and they help you through this, and it's just awesome. So I like that they're introducing that dynamic into the mix. That's an interesting dynamic. I also love how there is no girl hate in this episode. Like they're straying away from girl hate, which I totally love because I totally hate girl hate. I don't get why it's even there. It's just a really annoying trope that I do not like whatsoever. But in this episode, Valencia is still upset about the breakup of Josh, but she's in the denial stage of the breakup, like, I'm totally fine. I'm okay. Please just leave me alone. And Rebecca refuses to believe that she's okay, takes her to the ripoff of Coachella, because I can't remember its name at the moment, and, they take some hallucinative drugs, and that dream, can we just talk about that one for a moment? That was a very trippy song and stuff. It's a ballerina dance, Triceratops dance is what it's called, and that song was very interesting. I felt sad for Valencia after it. But another song that appeared that I'm just really not down for was the Thought Bubbles song, and it's relatable, but at the same time, I personally don't like the way Josh sings, and I'm like, why? But then we got the Triceratops one. It was just so weird, and I guess it makes sense because she's on drugs, and she's having a hallucination trip, or a drug trip as I like to call it, and it was pretty funny to watch, but then it got really, it's like, okay, so after they take the drugs, Valencia winds up ending sad, and Rebecca is just so pissed off, and there is the pissed off feelings that Rebecca has been hiding for so long, because, Rebecca, she is kind of like this very cool chick where she doesn't really let anything bother her, and she doesn't blow up and get pissed off very often, but, she did this time, and I'm glad that they have more character development to her character. I'm glad she's not just one-dimensional this season like she was last season, and there's just so much character development here, and I love it. I love how, even though there's character development, there's also conflict, and this is how a series should do things. And it's just perfect. So, Valencia and Rebecca decide that they're gonna team up, and then they pee all over Josh's equipment, because Josh is now at this festival because he's fixing some equipment, and I would like to say say it's very weird that they would call him for that. I mean, I get that he's in a tech store, but do tech store technicians really go out to music festivals and fix their stuff? But because I think West Covina is actually big enough to where they don't really need to call them. They could call an electrician or something to fix it. So we get that with Josh and other stuff. And I love how Rebecca and Valencia just pee on their equipment, and then Rebecca's keys drops out of her pants or something. Because Valencia is all like, my favorite line, oh, you were hiding your keys in your underwear. And she's like, yeah, sure, my underwear. And I'm like, where the hell were you hiding those keys? Did you shove them up your ass? I really want to know. It's just very weird. And then Josh comes in after they just peed on his equipment, and they really lay into him, which I personally love. Josh, of course, is being a whiny piss baby, and not taking what he deserves for leading these two girls on for dumping Valencia after she gave him, well, he didn't really dump her, she dumped him, but I love how Valencia admitted that she only dumped Josh because she felt their relationship wasn't going anywhere, like she was losing him, and I love how she became vulnerable in this episode, because Valencia hasn't really been vulnerable. She's always been this bitchy character, and there's more depth to her character, and I love it. I'm actually glad we got Valencia back nowadays. And then here's Rebecca being pissed off, and then I love how Valencia and Rebecca are all talking each other up instead of tearing each other down, because we need more of that in society, honestly, and it's a very important message. And then Josh, being whiny piss baby, says, I can't take it, leaves, and then Rebecca and Valencia are having this interesting conversation about feminism and stuff, and it's just really interesting to watch, and I love them getting along, and, this episode was really, building bridges thing, because Valencia and Rebecca and Heather are now friends, but she's kind of drifting away from Paula, which is a very talked about topic. I love how the series is relatable, because you do have those moments where you drift away from your friends. It happens, and, Paula is so much older than Rebecca, and Rebecca is now hanging around people her own age, and I do love Paula and Rebecca's relationship, and I really hope they get back to where they're mending their friendship, which is probably what next episode's going to be about. But I really love this powerful message that women don't need to tear each other down to be civil to each other, and they could always build themselves up. And another thing that I was Googling when I found, which is how I found out Greg was leaving the show, is that Josh meets this girl. This brand new girl. He's mid-conversation with this one guy, and he says, well, I'm done with relationships right now because they're too much drama, and I hate them. And this one guy tells him, go ahead, I've been single for many years, and I love it, and said something about, that smells great, bro, and your equipment smells awesome, bro, and, the equipment's covered in piss, so it kind of, shows that he's, a not very sane person at the moment. Or he's just used to smell, I don't know, whatever, maybe he has this weird pee fetish or something, but then this one girl comes and thanks him for fixing the music, because not Coachella, now I'm calling it Coachella, this 10 thing would have been, because this one music festival thing would have been lame without it, and I recognize the actress, and I'm like, who is that actress? I know that actress looks really familiar, and it's Brittany Snow, and I didn't know Brittany Snow was coming to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I really hope, we know this girl could sing because she was in Pitch Perfect, and I'm really excited to see what role she plays. I know she's supposed to be Josh's new love interest, love interest, and I really can't wait to see how she plays a role in the series. But what do you guys think of Josh having a new love interest? I just really wish these characters would be single for a while. Well, because it's good to have some relationships, but I consider Josh to be one of those serial daters. He's never really been by himself, so he doesn't really know how to be alone. And that just really bugs me because I really had hoped that Josh would have some character development like all the others that are getting character development this season, but I don't really see him developing. I actually see him becoming really immature lately, and that's my thing. There are just some people that never really grow out of their old habits, and Josh represents that person that never grows out of old habits, and it's, I like how there's so much diversity in this show. Honestly, no character is like the other, and it's awesome. Awesome, and I can't wait for the next episode. So what do you guys think of this episode and this season? Comment down below and let me know, and I will see you guys next Saturday or Sunday because I have both days off. So I will see you guys then. Bye!